with his knowledge behind that and with his connection at the bank that I bank at, that allowed me to get a credit line of $85,000.
How did that change your business? And how does that formula change your business model moving forward? Are you going to use your own capital anymore? Or are you going to just utilize your credit and debt weapons?
To answer the question, am I going to use my own capital anymore? Probably not. I don't have to. Why would I? If I can leverage the credit there, that's not going to cost me much money to use. Why not use that rather than going into my, into my stocks or into my retirement or into my capital that I have in my own. So to talk a little bit about what it's helping me do right now, I'm 30 days into this new flipping business that I've started, Michael Acquisitions, and using this credit as leverage. I've got three properties under contract. It's roughly $600,000 in properties that I will be selling, and in profit I will be able to make a return of conservatively $100,000 from these three properties and flipping them, virtually not using any of my capital, but using this leverage.
Welcome to the VIP Financial Education YouTube channel, where we help you go further, faster financially. I'm your host, Michael Matthey. Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us again today. Again, Happy New Year 2022. We all made it. We've got some really exciting things, like I shared in our previous video, that we've got coming up for this year. One of which is something that we've really talked about for a number of years on this channel, and it's really leveraging your credit. We call them debt weapons here on the channel. They can be called a number of different things. We've had Chris Lamb, the leverage guy, on here for a couple videos, and as we always do, guys, we want to be an advocate on behalf of you. We're an advocate on behalf of the channel. So before we even bring any of these kind of quote unquote experts in their specific field onto the channel, we thoroughly vet them. Now, particularly if they have something that they're maybe promoting, like Leverage Guy has his virtual class, and he does those about once a month, once every other month. We want to, before we even promote those, talk to a couple of people that have actually are kind of living, breathing, walking testimonials, people that have been through his program. We want to get the good, the bad, the ugly, get the down and dirty. And that's specifically why we don't have Chris here on today's video. Instead, we have someone that has actually gone through some of his courses and some of his teachings, and has absolutely gone in and implemented, and has come out smelling pretty good on the other side. So with that being said, we've got Cameron Michael on the channel here today. Thanks for joining us, Cameron.
Thanks for having me, man. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. So if you don't mind kind of giving the channel a little of your backstory, where are you at, and kind of what's your professional career?
Awesome. So Cameron Michael, been doing real estate now for roughly 14 years, been fully licensed and doing this full time for about, since 2013, however long that is. So I have a real estate team in Florence, South Carolina, and a real estate team in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Just recently started a joint venture program though. Everything that I do is connected to real estate. I've got my hands in a few things, but flipping has always been a passion of mine, and I decided to really dive deep into that this year. And Chris was one of those guys that really was a piece to the puzzle with getting that started. So,
got it. Now you say flipping. How many are you guys just strictly doing residential type stuff, and how many are you doing, and how's that working out right now? The market's fairly at the top. So are you a little nervous that you might get stuck holding the bag there? We talk about that often here on the channel as far as real estate, when the market's super hot and buying at the time.
That's a great question. So for me, I study the market a good bit. It can shift at any second, right? It's one of those things. But for me, and with my expertise in this business, I'm not scared to do what I'm doing. I'm with a good team that carries a lot of knowledge in flipping business, and we're careful with how things are going. So with that being said, I've flipped only a few residential properties. Right now I've got 3 properties under contract to flip back on the market to resell. The margin looks really good from what we've studied so far. So yeah, that's where I'm at with that right now.
Fantastic. Well, appreciate you sharing that. If you don't mind me asking, how'd you find out about Chris and his techniques and kind of his teachings, and what kind of drew you to it? Sounds like you've got a pretty successful real estate business already. Were you actively looking to leverage your credit and take on additional debt weapons, or did you just kind of stumble across it? Or
So I'll be honest with you, I actually stumbled across it. I met Chris through a mastermind that I attended back in Charleston, and that's where I met him. Didn't even know you could really leverage credit, so to speak, with business in general. And as bad as that may sound, I've been in this business for so long. I've always used my capital to build out my businesses. So when Chris got up to speak and talked a little bit about how leveraging credit to grow a business in general, or to, for me in my situation, I was interested in flipping residential properties. So that's where I met Chris, and that's how all this started.
So you sign up at the time. This is not a virtual training. You're actually at a live event. So you go to the live event. Give me your first impressions, as far as professionalism, setup, ultimately, bleeding into what the content and education look like. If you could just kind of share your quick thoughts on that.
Yeah. So Chris got up. I actually met Chris right before he got up. Didn't even know who the guy was. I sat right beside him at the mastermind, and when he got up to speak, didn't even know he was a speaker there, but he got up to speak and he told us who he was, what he represented and what he could offer in leveraging credit. Had never even heard that term before, leveraging credit. And it was all about leveraging people, leveraging credit, having those connections. So he got up, he explained the things that he could offer, some scenarios that he actually did personally. He had live things that he brought up on a projector and showed us that, how he leveraged credit himself. Some of his other students that he had and taught this to, some of their success with it. And I was just absolutely sold on it. I was kind of mind blown because I didn't know that you could leverage credit in business. So yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah. And a lot of people, you don't know what you don't know in business. And, I've been an entrepreneur since out of college. So I'm in my 25th, 26th year, not to date myself or age myself, but I'm about to turn 26 for the 20th time next week, actually. So, but I'm learning stuff every day, so I think, like you've got a successful business. You've been doing this for years. You know enough, you're smart enough in business to know that you don't know everything. So you're still out there actively trying to learn, trying to be that sponge. So, I applaud you for that, because some people get into a, kind of successful position. They start sitting on their hands or not really trying to figure out how to grow anymore. And in my opinion, in business, if you're not growing, you're dying. It sounds like you kind of share that same sentiment. So let's kind of get down to the nitty gritty here. So you go to the event, you learn everything that you can from that. And then now it's time to implement. What does that look like for you? And ultimately, what were the results?
Got it. I'm a numbers guy. I'm always, building off of that. So I went back after the Charleston meeting and I immediately got into consistently flipping houses, because I've flipped houses a few times. I've used my capital to do it. Apparently did it all the wrong ways. So I went back, I implemented this. I joined a joint venture partnership with flipping homes, residential homes. And Chris was one of those tools that I was absolutely sold on. I just really needed to use what I learned from him there, along with a few other things that I'd learned at that mastermind. So Chris was actually the first person I called. He taught me something about a bank that I've actually banked with for years and had no idea they could offer me the credit that he told me that they could offer me. So with his knowledge behind that, and with his connection at the bank that I bank at, that allowed me to get a credit line of $85,000. So
business or personal? It's
business. So it's for an LLC.
Okay.
I actually own 3 businesses and 3 business accounts at this bank, and never used that leverage to get an equity line. Didn't even know I could. Didn't even know it was available. So
just to be clear, that you ultimately ended up getting a credit line from a bank you already had 3 open accounts with, and you were not aware of your leverage position there at your own bank.
At my own bank. Absolutely. Until Chris told me about it. So
wow, that's a neat story, and it's probably all too common. So just going to the mastermind program with Chris and his team there just kind of unlock some doors in your mind. You've kind of gone down that path. You've got $85,000. How did that change your business? And how does that formula change your business model moving forward? Are you going to use your own capital anymore? Or are you going to just utilize your credit and debt weapons?
So like I said, I came back and implemented. He was one of the first people I called. That was the key to get started. He got me that. And just to go back on that, it took literally 9 hours to get approved for that. So just to say that too, I guess having the leverage at the bank that I didn't know I had, that he helped me implement. So got that. And to answer the question, am I going to use my own capital anymore? Probably not. I don't have to. Why would I? If I can leverage the credit there, that's not going to cost me much money to use. Why not use that rather than going into my stocks or into my retirement or into my capital that I have of my own. So to talk a little bit about what it's helping me do right now, I'm 30 days into this new flipping business that I've started, Michael Acquisitions, and using this credit as leverage. I've got three properties under contract. It's roughly $600,000 in properties that I will be selling, and in profit I will be able to make a return of conservatively $100,000 from these three properties and flipping them, virtually not using any of my capital, but using this leverage, credit.
So utilizing your leverage, you're going to come out on it with a profit margin of $100,000, utilizing $85,000 that
using a portion of that, to make some of these repairs to these properties to bring their values up to what they would be, the ARV of these properties. Without touching my capital at all, and it's giving me a conservatively giving me $100,000, more than likely more than that. So.
Got it. And just so everyone watching, the ARV just is after repair value. So it's after the repairs you do prior to your flip, prior to retailing it out. So guys that are watching, guys and gals that are watching, if you like content like this, you want us to continue to bring on testimonials of people that are living and breathing the education that we're bringing here on the channel, go ahead and smash that thumbs up button below. That helps out our algorithms, lets us know that we're on the right track and we're bringing the right information to you. So Cameron, we're going to wrap here shortly. If you don't mind, we're going to continue to check back in with you periodically. If you don't mind kind of updating us from time to time so our audience can see that you're still implementing and still utilizing these techniques successfully. Has there been any drawbacks to it? So, we always want to paint the good, the bad, and the ugly for our audience. Have there been any negatives? Were there any negatives at the mastermind? Are there any negatives post mastermind? Have you had any drawbacks with taking out those lines of credit?
I have not had any drawbacks. It's not costing me much at all to have this line of credit. It's worth every penny. The mastermind, absolutely. I've been to multiple masterminds. There's not anything, and nobody's paying me to say these things. I'm telling you this because it's the truth. I've been to plenty of masterminds and conventions. This was by far one of the best ones I'd ever been to because it was a small knit group. It wasn't, you could actually, after the mastermind, I was able to go up to Chris and actually have a conversation with him without everyone else trying to bombard him. And he was willing to share everything. And I was surrounded by people like Chris that are just willing to give. The more you give, the more you receive. And I think that Chris understands that and gets that. And that's something that I live by. And if I can also share this, I've been doing this for a long time. I've had much success in the real estate business. There's always more to learn. There's always someone that knows more than you do, or there's always someone who knows something that you don't know. In this case, this was something I did not know, and Chris is an expert at it. And I'm super glad and super stoked that I went and learned this. And at that mastermind, what it cost me, I would have paid triple because it was worth every single penny and more.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you sharing that. And that's important for us to touch on here on the channel. we want to do good business for people. We want to bring the right folks here. We want to bring like-minded people on the channel. Also, it's not always about the bottom line profit. It's about educating people, helping other people change their financial futures. I've known Chris for a number of years here at this point. I can certainly vouch for his character, just like you are right now. And I've had years of experience, a larger sample size with him. And time again, he does what he says, he's going to do. He does deliver, and he wouldn't be on the channel if we thought otherwise. So guys, if you already know that you're interested in this, Chris does have a mastermind program we're going to talk about here at the end of the episode. But if you already are interested, you want more information, want to talk to someone on Chris or his team, go ahead and shoot an email over now to leverageguy. It's leverageguy@vipfinancialeducation.com. Leverageguy@vipfinancialeducation.com. Include your first, your last name, and of course the best phone number to reach at. In the subject line, put Leverage Guy Interest, and someone from Chris or his team will get back in touch with you right away. Kind of parting shot here. If someone is on the fence and they're thinking about doing this, whether for personal or business, what kind of advice would you give them?
My advice is you'd be doing yourself a disservice by not at least learning more about how you can leverage your credit. Knowledge is money, and it's just important for you to educate yourself on something that you don't fully understand, or for something that you don't know. For me, I had gone in, I wanted to start this flipping business, this acquisitions business, and I had already done it a few times without reaching out, without taking and the time to learn everything that I should learn. That is a key factor for you, and really in any business that you're willing to start or get into, or even make your business that you already have better. Do yourself a favor and definitely educate yourself and listen to what Chris has got to offer.
Fantastic. Well, again, thank you for joining us here today. Guys, as always, go out there and do your own research. We're going to continue to bring great content here on the channel like this. If you want to see more, smash that thumbs up button below. If you're not a subscriber already, go ahead and subscribe and hit that bell notification. That's going to give you the heads up as we bring additional content here on the VIP Financial Education YouTube channel, where we talk about all things credit, capital, and cash flow. Until next time, take care and make it a great day.
Hey guys, what's going on? Nate Hirschberg here at Chris Lamb and Dan Rivers credit leveraging event. And if you've been thinking about getting any information about how to leverage business credit or just general knowledge around credit, this is a must come to event. You will not be disappointed. Value is just astronomical. The only regret you will have is that you didn't come sooner. See you at the next one.
Hi, Cynthia Freeman here with CKM Properties. I'm just here to tell you that wherever you are in your business, you need to come to this credit mastermind. Christopher Lamb and Dan Rivers have got so many things figured out and they're really, really good at sharing. So if you're anything like me and you're kind of a credit dummy, and maybe a long time ago you thought credit is evil, not something I want to mess with, and it's never occurred to you to maybe try to figure out how to use it, how to grow your business, how to make more money out of it, how to save money using it. If you've like me and you've just always had that mindset of credit's going to ruin you and cost you more money and you shouldn't get into it, you need to be here. You really need to learn how to save money and make money using credit. So I'm really excited to take these steps and grow the business, and hope to see you guys at the next event.